going to use the forward-facing camera this time, so that hopefully we're going to use the forward-facing camera. See if this thing will refresh for me. That's what it's going to do, and that way I can see. There it goes. Let's see if the video quality.
Yeah, if it's going to be better or worse or
All right.
whatever. Okay, there you go.
And we're going to sit on the comfy couch instead of on the hearth. We're going to sit here with our pillow collection.
Sure.
One of our prepping strategies is to pillows.
Yeah, when in doubt, we can eat pillows.
So it's a great storage strategy, because if you want to prepare for what's coming, you want to have lots of pillows for all your couches. So we have an enormous amount of throw pillows. It's one of our prepping strategies. Texas Mom, are you coming?
I think she is.
She's coming, y'all.
That's to prepare us for a tornado.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
you can grab it.
So the throw pillows are for
Yeah.
tornado preparedness.
You know, you have to cover the children in pillows, and then you have to
Here, I'll put one of these behind the old Becky.
kind of
There we go. Oh, finally useful for something.
figure out how
That's
to
wonderful.
use a
Good evening, everyone.
pillow. Hey
Oh,
there.
Chicken Gal says they currently have the vid.
Yeah, everybody's got it. Everybody's
We have a
got
lot
it.
of customers with the vid, and then I had it.
Yeah, it's been
something.
going on for about a week now, or a little over
Our
that.
whole church,
Yeah, I had it for like 4 or 5 days.
our whole church family has had it. Either
Yeah.
currently has it or has had it in the past 2 months. And it takes a while for some people to go through it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All of your coworkers have had it or have it now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or some rendition of that.
Yeah. It's always like a little bit slightly different, each person.
So we had it.
Cog Hill has it. Their whole crew
Yeah.
has it.
Cog Hill has it. So we had it for the first time. I am gonna say this is our 3rd time getting this, or a variant of it. But this, we had it back in May of last year.
Yeah.
And it took us about 2 months for it to work through all of our family, and finally, I mean, it wiped the kids out for like a couple weeks, and then we got it again in January, which is what we shared with y'all when we got it that time. And that time I ended up at the doctor's office
Yeah.
because it was like razor blades in
Yeah.
my throat.
Yeah, I remember that.
And not everybody had the same things, the same symptoms, but
Oh, is
it's-
James going to be on the
Oh,
live?
James has to be on the live.
it's really bad. So we have a real good doctor in town, and they gave me all the different things to help with it, and the steroid shot, which really, really helped, like immediately to get rid of that razor blade feeling. This time we don't have that. This time it was for some people, for most
Mine
of
was
us.
just a 4-day head cold.
Yours was mainly all
4
in
or
your
5
head
days,
and
6 days.
fevers. And you had
Yeah,
fevers,
those
and you had like flu-like symptoms, or he was totally wiped out for 4 days,
Mhm.
like in bed. And then that was 2 weeks ago, and then perpetually, like since then, we've all kind of gotten it.
And then today I woke up with it, and it mainly just feels like you've been hit by a Mack truck with
Yeah,
just
somebody
no
says-
energy.
So he says, can anyone remember what the regular flu was like?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
But it's weird to get the flu in the like summertime, early summertime, you know.
Well, and it's weird
kinda weird.
because like the regular flu, right? You do remember what a regular flu was like. Fevers, you're in bed, you're sick, you feel like you got hit by a truck, you have no energy, and you're
Yeah.
wiped out, right? But the flu wasn't this respiratory stuff that's like, it feels like a ton of bricks is sitting on your
Yeah,
chest.
sitting on your chest, just pressing in.
And you're just like, and the flu wasn't this like long, drawn out cough, this dry cough that
Not
you
that I
have
remember.
for
No.
like ever. Like, what in the world, you know? And the flu, you have it for a week or whatever, and then you get over it. But
Oh yeah, no, dude, the flu. I can get over the flu in like 3 days, and our kids never have anything more than 24 hours. I
No.
mean, until
Normally,
until the new lab experiment, it's been.
So this is just-
unreal.
it's annoying, is what it is, because it's
Yeah.
like you're not, or we're not down and out sick, you just feel like you have no energy.
No
right
energy
now.
to do anything.
Yeah, and then you're just, it's like something is just weighing on your chest.
Yeah.
And see, I didn't have the chest stuff, but I just had the headache
Headache.
stuff. Yeah.
Mine's just been like slight headache all day long.
Yeah. But you've had a cough too.
Yeah,
Yeah, the weird cough. Yeah.
the
Yes,
weird, like,
the
annoying
weird-
cough.
Annoying cough, yeah. So, and James, poor James is here, everybody, come sit up.
Come sit up
You
here.
guys sit up here, James.
I'm gonna go
we-
make
we
a cup
did.
of tea. Do you want a cup of tea?
A couple
Yeah, I
potatoes.
got some
Spot.
rice.
Are you gonna? What are you making? Texas boys tea?
I'm
Right.
making, yes, of course, Texas Boys tea. I'm making, actually, English breakfast tea
Oh.
Okay. Well, I don't want breakfast.
this morning.
This evening.
Okay, James is gonna.
I got good old fashioned southern sweet tea. That buddy made me.
That's English breakfast.
Yeah, I know, but he makes it really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had 3 customers that had it, and I just got a text message tonight. I was supposed to meet with to look at this commercial building.
Yeah.
This week, and I was like, that's weird. He never called me, and he just texted me tonight. He's like, oh, I've had COVID all week, but you know.
Huh.
Yeah, you and everybody else, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, James, tell him what you saw at the grocery store today.
Yeah, there's like no all the in the medical section where all like the cough drops and cough sprays and stuff. That stuff's like all like wiped out.
Yeah.
I'll serve you.
No throat-related supplies. Catone cabins, got it.
Oh wow, yeah. We'll be praying for everybody that, you know, just take care of yourself and lay low.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part.
Okay. Yeah, because you feel like you want to do something.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Yeah.
You kind of blame yourself. You feel kind of lazy, but
That's
Feel
the
like a
hard part.
slacker.
Or you'll be like, you want to do all these things in your mind, and
Yeah.
then you get up to go do them, and you're like,
Right, he's not complying.
I need to slow down. Yeah. So.
yeah.
No, there's all this thing's gonna be just like the other corona. It's gonna mutate every year.
It's super annoying. I'm so annoyed by it at this point. Like, seriously, every 6 months, this is like, you know.
We're all just rats in cages, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, our family, we would get the flu, like once every year, every 2
Yeah,
years,
yeah,
every 3
yeah.
years, maybe sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, very rarely will we get the flu. And you get it, and you're down and out, and it feels like you got hit by a truck, and you're on the couch, and you can't move,
Yeah.
and you got all
A
the
couple,
body
2-3
aches,
days.
Yeah.
and then you're
Good to go.
better,
Mhm.
right? Even if it's a week, and then you're over it. But I mean, and the kids, our first batch of kids just never ever got sick, and if they did,
No, not really.
it was within
Very quick.
24 hours they
Mhm.
were bouncing back. So this is,
But the good news is I think everybody's had it, or currently has it.
well, we've had it now 3 times.
So I'm just saying this time around.
Everybody's had it
We're
again.
not waiting for everybody else to get it again.
No, yeah.
Everybody has had it.
Mm-hmm.
We're buffering it. Our upload speed was really good.
James made some
We're
amazing
getting,
bread,
Yes. Very amazing bread.
and I have the lemon marmalade on it, and it is really good. What did you put on your bread?
I put the fig jam on mine, and
Big
it's
jam.
super good.
I think we're out of honey again. I think
Yeah. We're close to it. I
Yeah,
think we've
so-
only got a couple bottles left.
Yes. We do still have some southern pecan honey
And cream
Yeah.
honey.
and creamed honey.
Yeah, we're just out of the raw honey.
You want to show them what we got?
We got to jar some up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So about a week ago, we got a package in the mail from Australia, and it's from a viewer over there, and I guess he's a big fan of the Longhorns and everything like that. And Robert, if you're watching, just wanted to show this to everybody, but it's 100% made in Australia, and it's 100% leather belt,
It's beautiful.
and it's super beautiful,
It's a
and
really
it has
big brass.
big old brass, and it's has a big old longhorn on it. So I didn't want to drill any holes in it, so Dad's been wearing it because I'm a little too skinny for it. So
So
Thank you.
Yep, thank you so much.
So that's pretty much been the theme of the last week and a half or so. But we've been able to keep putting out the videos for y'all, so you probably haven't really noticed much in the videos, but that's what's going on here behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And so just a lot of just watching documentaries,
Yeah.
laying low,
Yeah.
taking turns going out doing chores,
Yeah.
just
James on there.
doing the bare bones.
Cut off.
Yeah.
I know how he likes to hide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so no big major projects
No.
going on, although you're pricing out some jobs.
We're pricing out jobs and stuff like that, and we got a lot in the pipeline.
And you got a job really starting.
Well, yeah,
You'll probably say for that too, right?
probably, yeah, possibly. But yeah, we milled up this week. We milled up over 20 boards, so that was super nice. We got them all milled up.
That was before you got sick.
That was 2 days ago.
So they're gonna be floorboards for your shop.
Mhm.
So you're like so close to getting into your shop out there, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And we've been filming, I guess if there's an upside to it, we've just been filming a lot in the house.
Mhm.
I've been able to film a lot of food videos and things like that just because that's kind of where we're all at and we're hanging out in the house. So, so get ready for lots of food and house
Yeah.
videos coming. And we just watched a documentary. We just finished a series documentary
Mm-hmm.
last night.
Yeah, that was Washington.
George Washington.
Yeah, George Washington.
It was very good. There was a lot of revisionist stuff in it.
Yeah.
For anybody that's looking for a good historic history resource, Connor Boyack, is it? That the guy that writes the Tuttle Twins series. They just came out with a history book that's in a narrative perspective, and it is illustrated. So I think it's probably gonna be really good. I know James Corbett interviewed him talking about the book, but it sounds like it's really good. We bought the Tuttle Twin series, and it's really good. It's got a lot of different stuff, Jekyll Island and a bunch of stuff. So I definitely recommend Tuttle Twins, and I'm sure their history book's gonna be pretty good.
Yes, this is one of Buddy's masterpieces behind us. That is a first time longhorn hide that Buddy did. He's done other cowhides and he's done lots of other taxidermy type things, but this is his first longhorn hide, and he thought it was really cool because he had never seen a longhorn hide with the tail left on, and he thought that would be really super cool to leave the tail on. And as soon as I went outside and saw it on the ground, I was like, that's so cool that you
Okay,
left
so
the tail on
a
there.
bunch of people ask us how we mounted it on the wall. So how did we mount it on the wall?
So I
Here, scooch it this way.
So what I did on the wall is I first measured how wide the hide was, and then on the wall where the area was, I put pencil marks up at the top of the ceiling where the studs were, and then I took my laser level and lined it up with the pencil marks. That way, once we pushed the hide up there, there was a line on the hide. That way, I knew where to pin nail, and I just put it up there with 16 gauge by nails.
And so we pin nailed it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and the other thing is this is super thick.
Yeah,
I
so
mean-
that's how come it looks like it's floating on
Yeah.
the wall.
Yeah, because we were looking all over the place, like how do you mount them?
Right.
And you don't really see them all the time mounted on the wall.
There's
but when
several
you do,
different ways to do
Yeah.
it, and we read through all of the different options.
Yeah.
And we thought that the pin nailing it to the wall was going to be the best option because for us, we're not moving or going anywhere. So once it's there, it's kind
There,
of permanently there.
So
Somebody recommends True Stream Media. Yep, they're good. They're good fellow Texans.
yeah, we watch a lot of their stuff. A lot of their stuff.
The Dykes, they're good.
So our birds are cutting way, way down on laying eggs.
Yeah, like cutting down like stop.
Like pretty much stopped. So it's kind of
Yeah.
funny because we had this like plethora of eggs. We had so many eggs. We were filling up those jars in my pantry and just like you know, water glassing. Sorry guys, my head. Water glassing all those eggs. And now the kids and I are like taking out of the egg collection. So it's kind of cool that they're all there. What also happened, which we haven't said this on a video yet, is that we had about 30 hens, laying hens, and then we started free ranging them about, I don't know how many months ago now.
4 months ago, probably 3-4 months ago.
And so it's kind of hard to tell, right, when you have free range hens, because
And a bunch of ducks.
yeah, and you see them and you're like, we have several of the same kind, so it's like, okay, there's a leghorn hen out front, but is that the same leghorn that I just saw out back? And like you're never seeing them all at the same time and whatever. So like a couple of months goes by and you're noticing less and less. And then I was like, I wonder, let me see how many hens we got. And I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then we went out, we gathered them all up and put them in the coop again one night, and then I think there was only like 9 left
There's
or so.
9.
And then I was walking down to the pole barn, and it's that big dusty dirt road, and you can literally see anything that's been going on the property, and there's like a highway of raccoon tracks going back and forth.
Yeah, Buddy's got to set up his raccoon traps.
Yeah,
close to
Buddy's-
that.
All the raccoons around here stole his traps. So
Oh, they
he
drove them
has to
all.
get,
Well, except for the live.
except for his cage
They're
traps.
Texas raccoons.
They're
They're
smart.
like, come and take it.
Yeah, the one coon.
It just ripped its paw off in the
Yeah.
trap.
Yeah.
Get this. So we had those foot traps. The raccoon comes, gets stuck
We
in it.
chained them to the tree.
We chained it to the tree. Somehow he was able to unchain it off the tree
Well,
So,
must
and
have
then-
used a little carabiner.
with the carabiner or whatever, and then he ran away with it on his paw. Well, then something kept hitting our traps and rolling the traps over and everything. And we found out that the coon was just going in there, and then since there wasn't any weight on the live trap, he would just
flip it upside down, and then the door would open.
and then the door would open and he would walk out. So he just kept doing it, and then we kept putting heavier and heavier things on it. And eventually we caught him because we put real heavy stuff on there, and we catch him, and then it was so funny because it was like sweet revenge because he was missing a foot. So it was like a perfectly clean, you know, it was.
Oh my.
Those traps are strong. Those
Oh
ball
man, they're
traps,
super strong.
Mhm.
So,
man, you have
Oh,
to
yeah.
like stand on them
Yeah,
to set 'em.
so-
It's crazy though, the predator pressure is so much here because we're just surrounded by nothing but
Yeah.
woods. And so, I mean, that's always been the thing.
well, and the other thing I think what happens too is when the drier months start to come on like it has been, and you start getting this drought, stuff goes into survival mode and just starts to eat as much as it can.
Yeah.
The snakes really come out and they start really foraging, you know. So like I heard a lady at the hardware store, she was telling me she had about 40 hens just like us, and coons took them all out in like 2 or 3 months,
Yeah.
and now she only has like 8 left.
Yeah, it happens. And, you know, I was hoping that it wouldn't happen this time and this time would be a little different, but we have been here 8 years now. So we probably shouldn't have assumed that it would be
Should have
different.
just left them locked up.
Yeah.
Should have just left them in the run, but anyway. So we'll be starting over with some new hens, and we're excited about them.
Starting over again.
Again.
All right. So, what I want to do.
People want to guess what's your T-shirt.
Does anybody want to guess what my T-shirt is?
Yeah.
What do I got? Food crumbs on it?
Don't tell them what it is, but just see it
I'm
throughout.
not going to tell you what it is.
Yeah, but if somebody comments and you guess
They would
right,
really have to
it's
guess.
limited edition though. I mean, so super.
Can you even see it from like
I think so.
in detail from
I don't know.
the camera? Or does it just look like a
All right, what were you gonna say?
Well, that's actually what I wanted to discuss. I was hoping that, because we were going to make a video about solar powered vehicles,
Okay, can you scooch out a little bit, and then that way he can be in the video a little
or we
bit.
can just
No, it's fine.
Yeah, I can always.
That's got a huge aspect ratio.
Oh.
on it.
Yeah, I can
Just
adjust
that
You
it real
just
quick.
scoot that back an inch.
Yeah.
Really, James is in the video.
There you go. He's in the video.
Pray for James. He's really feeling it, and he is never liking to be sick or admit that he's sick or not feeling good. But
Doesn't like to admit defeat.
he does not like to admit defeat. But I know when this kid's not doing projects 24/7, he's really not feeling good. So,
Somebody just sent us a bomb, an emoji bomb.
maybe they're guessing what your shirt means.
Yeah.
Thanks, Meg.
Oh, do they think it's a bomb?
No. They sent us a bunch of emojis, Mother.
Oh. Sorry.
She doesn't have her glasses on, y'all.
Yeah.
Nugget, what are you doing?
Okay.
You're such a bagger. All you do is beg.
She got her hair cut.
She did get her hair cut.
Nugget
Same
got
ball.
shorn.
And she's
Like
cold
she-
now.
We harvested the wool off of
Yep.
She's an abomination.
I'm knitting the wool. So what were you saying? You wanted
Yeah.
to get
Yeah, I wanted to discuss the validity. The validity of solar powered vehicles, and basically solar in general as a mass scale application, and how it is completely and utterly impossible. It's not. Nugget, can someone take this dog?
Come here, honey. Oh, you got it.
Look, she's like looking at
She
me.
knows it's spread.
I know you're a beggar.
Should I just give her a little piece?
No.
She wants a little piece.
You're terrible.
Okay, the validity of electric
Yeah, the
cars.
scalability of electric cars, it's kind of like a super total setup, and one, it's not scalable, and two, with the systematic destruction of the, I don't want to say fossil fuel because it isn't a fossil fuel, but the systematic destruction of gasoline and petrol-based fuel, it's a systematic destruction of our entire economy, because what people never talk about when it comes to electrical power or, well, petrol or fossil fuel is that production and growth and everything is all a unit of energy, and production is produced by energy. So when you take an efficient energy source like diesel or gas, it produces an inordinate amount of power. That power is converted into work, that work is converted into production, and so that is what drives our economy, other than innovation, and innovation can affect efficiency, but other than innovation, that power creates, and that's how production is produced, by harnessing and utilizing that power. Now when you eliminate and remove that power, and then you take an incredibly inferior power generator like solar or wind, one, it's a diminishing power generation, because it will never generate as much power as it costs to initially manufacture, which is quite opposite with gasoline power. So what I'm saying is, I'll give you an example. The Ford F-150 Lightning, the big truck, is 131 kilowatts. So if you buy the big truck with the big power plant, what, the 3 battery system or whatever,
Yeah, it's like 150.
it's 150 kilowatts. It's
Yeah.
131.
131?
Yeah, it's 131 kilowatts. So if you've ever looked at solar power, 131 kilowatts can literally power the average house at full bore blast for like 3 or 4 days. Now, when you invert that and you think of it backwards, that means that you have to take 3 or 4 days of home electrical usage with everything blasting on high to charge that truck. So it's not like that electricity comes from nowhere. That electricity has to be generated, and then it has to be transferred into the batteries. So when you think about that on scale, you know, right now it's cool and it's neat and Tesla and you can go 200 miles and you can barely make it to the next charging station and you got to sit there for 40 minutes. And everybody's willing to do that because it's cool.
Wait a minute, but how much does it cost to fill up your car?
Well, you don't know.
$40. Still, like you said, like some gas.
How about at Tesla? How much does it cost?
Oh,
Oh, 30 cents at a super power station. At a supercharging station right now, it costs 30 cents.
to fill up your
mile.
car? A kilowatt.
A
Right?
kilowatt.
Kilowatt.
Yeah.
So then
no,
that's-
30 cents a watt.
A watt, not a
Yeah,
kilowatt.
not a kilowatt. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, so you're gonna pay through the nose.
Yeah. So
But no
Well-
one can do math with all the watt stuff.
right when we
Yeah.
start doing
You're
this.
just going there. I mean, it's not going to be like.
Yeah, you don't know
oh,
how long it's going to take you to charge. You don't know how much of a charge you're going to get. You don't know how much it's going to cost you, and you don't know if you're going to get to your next charge station. And I know they have all these charts and everything. So, and when you start talking to these guys like even Tesla Solar, and they talk about how they're going to create these, mini solar substations, and they're going to use neighborhoods, and they're going to daisy chain all these houses together to be this local power station, and I'm like, how are you going to do that? Smart meters, you know what I mean? And so the whole entire thing, one, is an impossibility, like a practical, full scale application is totally impossible. There aren't enough charging stations, and there won't be by design, because you'll own nothing and be happy. They don't want you driving anywhere, right? And if they can limit, look, they don't even have to limit how far you can go. The battery already does that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And if they're not building enough charging stations by design because they want to cart you around everywhere, and they'll come up with some kind of electric public transportation thing.
Oh,
It's-
and don't say anything bad about them, or we'll turn off your car.
yeah, and then if you say anything bad about your Tesla, they shut it off, or they'll jack with the efficiency of
Well,
it.
I mean, how much can they manipulate the price of electric? We've already seen that,
Yeah.
right?
Well, they
So-
not only they're going to, they've already said that they're going to. So the price of electric is not going to stay static, it's going to go up.
And another thing that we were talking about was the cost of maintaining these electrical vehicles.
Nobody knows.
Because
Nobody can work on them.
Yeah.
Nobody knows how long they.
What do you
They'll
work on?
actually
I mean,
last.
it's like when a battery dies on a drill, you're not gonna fix it. I mean, it's like a battery dies on your car. You can't fix it. You gotta get
Yeah,
it replaced.
we're not opposed to electric vehicles. I'm opposed to the incredibly silly, foolish notion that they're a viable alternative to anything.
Yeah.
Now, electric powered and solar powered is very realistic on a very small scale,
Yeah.
and it's very useful and helpful. And electric battery power tools are incredibly awesome. You still have to have a legit power source to plug them into to charge them up, okay? And you can charge them with a solar cell if you have the time to wait, and that's
We've
viable.
actually been we've been using the OPES, and we wanted to see like how long it would actually last charging like big Milwaukee batteries 9.0s with a rapid charge, and we plugged it in there, and
25 watts.
yeah, I mean super low. I don't know. It took barely any power. The actual charge.
Because we're
and it
bringing in
charged
like
it.
100. So.
Yeah, and it charged it so it could indefinitely charge while the
Yeah.
sun was out.
Very
So
Yeah, and it's very efficient at
Yeah.
that type application.
that type.
Texas farmer said they sold their Tesla after 6 months. Just curious, what was your purpose and reasoning behind selling
I
your?
think the big thing with
Tesla.
us is just that we're super skeptical of the whole, what's behind the whole push.
Well, you
Yeah.
can have
Well,
all the cars and trucks in like all of the United
Yeah.
States electric, but you're still gonna have. They're not gonna make electric tractors and Mack trucks.
well,
and
even if
trains and
they
planes and all that stuff.
do, right? Now, I don't want to offend Peter. Okay, but I'm gonna say something. That there's a notion that Boeing airplanes run on compressed air,
Is he on
okay?
there? Is he
And
on?
He doesn't
if
watch
you
YouTube
take-
He's not on
videos.
here.
Pete's gonna watch this on Odyssey, and Peter, thank you for watching this on Odyssey, buddy. And I don't wanna offend you, bud, but a Boeing 747 cannot be propelled by compressed air, and that same notion to even think that that's viable or possible, it is largely associated with the shape of the Earth. By the way, I just want to put that out there. Really, all of those type of fake conspiracy theories are made to look real. Conspiracy theory people look stupid, but that same notion is the same exact reason why we can't all run our car. You know, it's zero carbon, right? This supposed goal is zero carbon.
Yeah.
Now, carbon, we breathe out carbon.
Yeah.
Plants breathe in carbon, right?
They need it.
That's a perfect system that's self-regulating. The reason they want to eliminate carbon is because they want to eliminate carbon-based life forms. So, for any of you that haven't ever read any type of science literature, us humans are carbon-based life forms, and that's why they chose this CO2 to make that zero, is because they want to get rid of us, right? And they, them, and
Yeah.
those want to be the ones that are left, and they're going to accumulate all our stuff.
Okay, so Texas farmers responding to you.
The charging at 10 p.m. just to get home was a pain. Plus,
Yeah.
you're supposed to only charge up per trip. If my adult kids in Dallas have an emergency, I'm looking at maybe not having charge vehicle. Yeah. The whole charging, the only reason these vehicles, it is totally a fad, and it's cool, and the vehicles are incredibly neat, they're incredibly well designed, they have all of this innovative technology.
Well, if you're just staying in the city, right?
Yeah,
If
be
that's
bopping
just your
around.
little zip around car for
Yeah.
the city life.
Yeah. Every once in a while, you can full throttle it.
But
And
if
that's
you
the
wanna
purpose.
Go anywhere.
Yeah, if you want to actually go anywhere, if you want to do anything,
Haul
if you want to
anything.
produce, and if you want to haul anything, and if you want to produce. Now, if you want to goof around and fart around and play around and zoop zop zoop and put it on autopilot and play video games while you drive,
Yeah.
you can do all that dumb junk in your Tesla. But if you want to produce and be productive,
Yeah,
You're
somebody said it was a real world test, and the guy bought the Ford Lightning, F-150 Lightning, and he had this super sweet Airstream, and he hooked it up to the Lightning, and it only went 80 miles.
That's it.
And then it ran out of electricity. 80 miles.
electric vehicles are the future because we're forced
Yeah.
for them to be our future. And what I need somebody to do is come up with one that you can charge, right? And you have to come up with one with a marginally environmentally friendly battery,
Yeah.
which hasn't even happened and will
For
not. It's not going to
real.
happen. It's not going to happen because the reality is the real analysis of it is you will never beat gasoline.
Yeah, and how are they making electricity at the chargers to charge the car?
They can't. They interviewed them up in Michigan, and they were showing their new dumb Chevy rendition of whatever, and all these politicos and those. Oh, this is how you plug it in. And then one of the reporter talking heads actually said, "Hey, where does that plug go? Oh, that goes back to the building.
Yeah, where's
Oh,
the electricity?
where does all that power come from? Coal? Like,
Oh.
oh, coal.
Yeah. I bet if
That's cute.
I bet if they broke it all down.
Yeah, they will never
you will
break it all down.
see that
Chalk.
it's probably
Way more.
You don't even have to break it down. All you have to do is use logic, reason, and common sense, and just think about it. Talk to somebody with one, right? And get real world numbers, right? And see what kind of draw this thing takes just to charge up. The length of time. You can quick charge. Hey, I got one for you. Sit on 131 kilowatts. And what happens if that joker blows up?
Yeah, all the new Ford Mustangs, well, since
The GT one.
the GT ones, well, please don't. The beautiful company at Ford, and I love all Ford stuff except only their old stuff, but After '04, it's all garbage. But anyway, they had a bright idea to stop making stuff in America and start making it over in Mexico. And nothing against Mexico or anything, but they're paying people peanuts to make their cars, and these super $90,000 cars. And these cars have been blowing up and catching on fire because the main electrical unit wire thing that's running through it, that runs power and signals through it, has been overheating. And one of the ports on it has been overheating and welding itself together right next to the battery. And
the new Ford Bronco that they make in Mexico, the Bronco Sport, they've recalled ones normally under 1,000 miles. They've recalled, I think, 3,000 because the engines blow up. So
and what happens when you're sitting?
But Lincoln was gonna finish saying that. Go ahead. So
they're getting to the point where they're trying to decide if they have to recall everyone that they ever produced.
Right, but and so what I'm saying is, what happens when you're sitting on a fully charged 131 kilowatt battery and you get an accident? How are you going to make that thing accident proof? You're not. And the reality is just like Andrew's saying, we need to get rid of fossil fuel. First off, it's not fossil fuel, okay? There's no peak oil. It's not running out. We still haven't ever hit $500 a barrel, and they're trying to make it $500 a barrel.
And what happens to our economy if they do
They're destroying the world. The Great Reset it's not like they're destroying the American economy. They're destroying the world economy. Right? They're destroying the world economy so they can reset it. This is all part of how they destroy the world economy. They're not going to switch and invest in renewable energy. You know why? Because there's no such thing as renewable energy. There is no perpetual energy machine, right? Solar panels are not renewable. They die, you throw them away. Windmills are not renewable. They break, you can't eat, the blades, they bury them in the ground. It's not renewable. You expend it, they blow up, you throw it away, and you do it again. And it never produces more power than the amount of power that it takes to generate it in the first place.
Yeah, like the windmill blades that they haul all the way down to the tip of Texas on Mack trucks, one blade at a time. Like, talk about all the fuel you're burning getting together the windmill that you're making.
Constantly.
And that's why you'll hear a lot of people. I mean, portable. And I'm not a nuclear guy, and I'm not a fan of nuclear. I'm just saying we have coal, we have fuel, and I say continue to use that. Because see, when I grew up, they told us that it was all going to be okay. They told me in the Popular Science and Mechanic magazine that I got and read, they told me that we were going to be out of oil by now.
Really?
And we were going to be, people cracking on Fords. They don't even know
at least you drive.
Do the Ford one that you were talking about.
Oh, with that, yeah. So these guys with their Rams or whatever, which I don't know. Anyway,
these are Chevy folks.
No. Chevys are fine.
Ford's just like the first car ever made. But other than that, Chevy's fine.
Yeah, Chevy's fine.
Yeah,
but
we only have 3 Ford pickup trucks, and we've literally, other than maintenance, never did anything to them. But
yeah, I mean the Fords are really good, but I know another mechanic, and he is only a Chevy guy, and mainly the only reason he's a Chevy guy is because he knows the thing inside and out. And if you know a vehicle,
it's broken every other week.
But it's broken every other week.
Working on just dumping.
But he puts 1,000,000 miles into this because he drives around. But other than that, I mean, our Ford trucks have been good. The EcoFlow junk is garbage. Everything except for the F-150 is garbage. Well, except maybe their 250s and 350s.
Yeah.
They're older stuff, but everything else is garbage.
Well, it's all because of fuel efficiency.
Junk.
The newer trucks, they're
the 05s and on are all that EcoFlow stuff and turbos, and they're made to make the engine blow up.
Yeah, they're
recycling the air and all that.
If we get a heavy frost, your truck will get stuck.
because it's lightweight.
Yeah.
It's aluminum.
Yeah, all of me and James's trucks are steel framed 3/4 ton trucks. So
yeah, they're beast mode.
But nah, Chevys.
I know who wants to talk about. So you know that like half the United States actually gets cold in the winter. Well, if you have your Tesla, not
Yeah.
I guess they don't include this, but you know,
Yeah,
because
they
all
forget about
people
this.
store their Teslas in heated garages, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it maintains the temperature. I forget what the set temperature is, but if it
It's
gets
like 70
hotter or
degrees. It's
cooler,
literally-
it actually has to run the batteries to keep
Yeah,
it
it
at
turns the
temperature.
car on. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
this one guy was saying Curtis Stoney had a Tesla, and he said in the winter, he said he could charge it up and have it charged, and at night, if he left it outside, it would go from 100% to 40% battery, just trying to keep the batteries warm
Yep.
if it's cold. Or if it's hot.
No.
Or if it's hot,
has
it's
to
trying
be
to
cool.
We are climate change deniers. The climate changes every season, and it's and every decade it changes, and there are grand solar minimums, and these are all scientifically observable facts. Climate change, which is why it's called climate change, because it used to be called global warming, then it was called climate change, now it's called global weirding, because now it's getting colder again. These
No
are all 1984 talking points newspeak. This is all ANGSOC
And they are
control you.
and they are changing the
Yeah.
climate. If
Yeah.
you look at what
Oh,
they're
yeah.
spraying in the
Yeah.
air,
What they're trying to do to prevent climate change
Oh,
is
yeah, it's
actually
great. No.
causing climate change.
Trust the science.
Yes.
No, the scientists know that we can aerosolize
Project Block Out the Sun
metals.
by
you know.
lizard.
That's all conspiracy theory, even though they're doing it and they brag about it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Like
So
China's launching their own sun into the.
So
Sky.
Mr. Sola said I had 290,000 miles on an 84
Ford Pinto.
Pinto.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dude, that 84 Pinto was very similar to my 1985 Volkswagen Rabbit diesel, Mr. Solis.
You know, that's kind of funny because me and Buddy were talking about if we could buy like a super junker Pinto and then just put the biggest Mac Daddy race car engine in it. You just have a sleeper, and then you could just go drag street.
A Pinto.
That would be so awesome. Got this little junky car and
Except if you did that, it would affect your social credit score,
yeah,
and they wouldn't allow you to buy gasoline
yeah, for real.
because you can't have fun anymore because of the science and the climate.
You know, whatever they are telling us, we need to question what they are telling
When
us.
they're pushing so hard.
You need to question everything. As far as teaching your children, you teach your children to question. You question everything, and then you analyze it, and you look at it, and you take the facts that are observable, and you come to a conclusion. Like, for example, if you look at a gigantic Boeing 747, and somebody tells you, oh, that don't have any fuel in it, that runs on compressed air.
Yeah,
The first thing you say is, well, who compresses the air, and how does they do
Yeah.
that? And then how does it fly thousands of miles on
Thousands
one
of
compressed tank? Like, how does that happen? And then so you see what somebody says,
yeah.
and then you rationally think about it, and
Yeah.
you're like, wait a minute, that is absolutely impossible.
And then I did a lot of research too on, because his argument is that there's no real like fuel tanks on it, and they're in the wings.
Correct.
So, but I did some research. If you're looking at a Boeing 747 or whatever, 787, they look kind of small in a photo. In a photo, yeah. I mean, they look kind of big. You can kind of think of them. Oh, they're
They're
big,
gigantic.
but they're huge.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the wings, the wingspans and everything are
300 feet.
well, yeah, but the square footage just on the wings, where
Oh,
the
yeah.
tanks are, is 6,000 square feet. That's like 3 of these houses.
Yeah.
So
And they have
I
a
mean, if
main
it's only
tank on the tail, and the tail's 26 feet tall.
Yeah,
oh, I thought it was 60.
Oh yeah, 65.
60, yeah, it's 65 feet tall, and and right at the base, at the root they call it, of the wing is 6 feet. So and all the way to the tip. So I
and
mean,
what's beautiful about all that, I think it's awesome for someone to bring that up.
Yeah.
Hey, these
I never
things
thought
run
about
on
it.
compressed
Yeah,
air.
I
And
never
you're
thought
like,
about
well,
that.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
Can that be
it was
true?
a very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
so I'm not trying to demonize the
No, no,
person.
no.
Now
Absolutely.
I will point out the fact that whoever originated that urban legend is part of the whole COINTEL apparatus of the flat Earth agenda and make all like conspiracy theories look stupid. I will definitely say that that is the antithesis of
I'll
that.
take the cherry.
But yeah,
Yeah, and
climate change isn't real. Electric vehicles aren't efficient. They aren't practical. We're not even close. Whatever happened to hydrogen fuel and hydrogen vehicles? What happened to these guys that literally made? What happened to the dude with the purple dune buggy, right? That literally made a hydrogen car.
Yeah.
He Epstein himself, right?
Yep.
Okay, he disappeared.
There's been a lot
like
of
2
those.
or 3 of those
A lot.
guys, and they've
Disappeared off the
they
face of the
Ghislaine
planet.
Maxwell themselves, okay? And so, are we sick?
Yeah.
That's a
Oh,
great
yeah.
question, Carlos. People think we're very sick because we're climate deniers.
Yes.
Yeah, we're a little bit sick.
And now we use the climate denier word, now we're gonna get shadow banned because we're not speaking the new speak. But it's a good
I would
conversation.
just say whatever the mainstream is saying, question it.
100%.
Well, whatever the mainstream is saying, they now have a proven track record that is exclusive. It's exclusively propaganda and it's bogus. You know what I mean?
So whatever the mainstream is saying, it's probably the opposite.
Unless you know some chemistry and physics, then it's difficult to explain climate change. Yeah, especially the reason it's really difficult is when you look at the real data of everything they've said, and you look at all of their charts and all of their projections,
Then it's very
right?
confusing.
So all these climate changers, they projected things in the 80s, right? None of those things happened. All right? None of those things happened.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain this to you, man. None of them happened. All the peak oil stuff, none of it happened. It's all Keynesian, it's all Malthusian,
Yeah.
it's all population control. It's like somebody was on Instagram today, and I got 8 kids and all this stuff, but I'm pro-choice because of the whatever, right? And I mean, oh yeah, education and women, right? Oh, and actually, pregnancies have been going down. You know why pregnancies have been going down? Because people don't know if they're male or female, right? And when you don't know if you're male or female and you think you're the opposite of what you genetically are, you can't procreate.
Yeah.
Guess who wins? They win.
And then on top
All
of
right.
it,
Satan wins.
you know,
That's who wins.
the new vaccination, I won't say what it is, has made it very
Yeah,
difficult.
of course. So the
It's been
reason
sterilized.
the reason that births is going down is everybody
Two.
has chosen to sterilize themselves,
Literally.
and if everybody that didn't do that doesn't know what gender they are.
Yep, exactly.
And since they think they're the opposite gender that they are, they obviously cannot procreate. That's real. That's
No way.
science. That's observable. And it used to be common sense. Like it used to be like when you were born, the way that you were genetically created by God, like you knew that
Yeah.
by observation. But now, potato head.
That's a new one.
That's probably meat chickens.
Who?
Meat
Tit Tat?
chickens, like I could totally see meat chickens taking the potato head thing and running with it. But if it's you, meat chickens, I miss you, buddy.
Oh boy.
But
So.
yeah, that's like what me and James were talking about too. Was like, I think they can dabble around with electricity and all that type of stuff, and electric trucks and electric cars. But when it comes to big trucks,
Well, they
it's
can
gonna
do
be
it
tricky.
now. See, this is why it's a total psyop. They can do it now because we have coal and
Yeah.
gas
Oh yeah.
and fusion and hydrogen. We have these different generations generating this power, so people can mystically and magically plug stuff in the wall and then like, oh, it charged.
Don't you
That's
get
amazing.
You get to wear the environmentally
Well, yeah, and you get to
superior badge.
you get the
too.
virtue
That's
signal.
right.
You get to wear a T-shirt like this and say, "Wow, man, you're so cool. That's so cool."
Right.
You know, and
But you don't have to get into the question of where did the electricity that you plugged your vehicle in come from. You don't want to
Yeah.
get into all of that. And I mean, there's just a lot of variables. Like the
Oh.
boys were telling me, just with
hot, cold.
yeah, I mean temperature.
When it's hot. Guess what, y'all? When it's hot, the batteries don't work. When it's cold, the batteries don't work. Wow. So wait a minute. Somebody's gonna push us onto a vehicle that doesn't work when it's hot, that doesn't work when it's cold, and that they're going to determine
And
if
you
and when and how you
only
can charge it.
it up one trip. is
Yeah, and you can,
recommended.
yeah, and your smart meter might only let you charge it at night. Huh? Man, that almost seems like somebody doesn't want you to go anywhere.
And then where do I have to charge it at? Where do I have to go for
Yeah,
that? How much
and-
am I gonna pay for that? And then maintenance.
Yeah, and
Oh,
when
my goodness.
people are doing these road trips and like, okay, so they're doing a road trip and yeah, okay, it's so cool. It automatically maps out where you need to go to get to the next charger, but it's like hours out of your way.
Yep.
Every time.
So you drive hours out of your way to recharge it.
It's
Then
not
you,
like when you're driving on a road trip and you're like, yeah, when we pass the gas station, we'll fill up.
and you sit, and then not only that, you drive out of your way. Now you sit there for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, did you have that in your travel plans? Sitting somewhere doing
Or-
nothing for 40
Or
minutes?
what people do is they only fill up like a quarter tank
Right.
at a time, and then they just have to sit for like 20, 30
And they
minutes.
cross their eyes, toes, and fingers and be like, I hope I can make it to the next charging
I know,
station.
there's some wind.
I'm saving the planet, woohoo!
Oh,
At least I'm saving the planet.
Justin Rhodes went on that
With-
stupid road trip with a Tesla, and he's like, "Oh, it's so cool. So look, we're here at a charging station, and now we can just sit here and watch a movie." I'm like, "But you're trying to go to Florida, don't
Yeah.
you just want to get there?" Well, it only took 20 hours to get here. You're only
And-
5 hours
From North
away.
Carolina to Florida?
Yeah,
It
and,
took forever.
right, and we had
Like
this,
all
we had, since we were watching the movie while we were charging the car, it took an
Mhm.
extra
Use
10
battery,
minutes
yeah.
so we could watch the movie, so it's even more efficient.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
My husband said that there was a line for the chargers at the gas station south. Yeah, exactly. It's just touches. It's such a setup, and right now it's like so cool to sit in line to wait for 40 minutes to charge your car. You're gonna wait for 40 minutes to charge your car for 40 minutes. So now you're burning time.
Yeah.
But because you're saving the planet, it's cool. You know, it's just inefficient and it's dumb, and that's why you're gonna need
But it's
universal basic income.
really great propaganda.
Oh,
It is killer propaganda.
awesome.
And really what you need to do is you need to listen to the NASA guy. And I always say that and then I forget his name. But he talks about, I forget it again, the NASA guy.
Mr. Potato said. Mr. Potato Head
You're
said.
still transitioning. Is this a gender reference or is this, you're still transitioning. Of course, there will only be a small amount of charging stations. There is only, look, you can read all the Wired art, you can read the Substack stuff. There's only a minimum amount of charging stations by design. This is design. You can read legislation and articles that they are purposely throttling the construction of charging stations. This is by design. It's basic math. You can figure out how many charging stations you need, and if there was so much profitability in it,
Well,
people
yeah.
would be look,
Here's
hey,
the-
they're still building gas stations, bro.
Here's
There's
the,
something to think
well,
about.
here's
lot.
the thing. I mean,
A lot of
lot.
gas stations.
if you buy an electric vehicle, right, it's because you're so environmentally conscious, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or
It's
that's
just
one
not-
of the perks, right? I mean, you're cool first, but secondly, you get the environmentally conscious vibe, right? But then, if you can't go anywhere, you should be like stoked about that. You should be so excited because now you just like taken it to the next level. And you're not even gonna be willing to travel.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you are so cool.
I'll break your brain. The only reason Tesla exists as a corporation is because of $8 billion in government subsidies.
Mm.
Okay? You want to know why Starlink exists? Because he's part of Project Blackjack and he is the military industrial complex. And Starlink
Yeah, let's talk
and
about that.
SpaceX exist to launch military projects into
No way.
the stratosphere.
What do you mean? You mean like when we were down at South Padre and we saw those things flying across
Yeah.
the ocean?
Yeah, the things that are being utilized in the current supposed war that's taking place
Right.
right now. Yeah, that military
What is
industrial complex.
That.
What, you didn't see the stinking SpaceX videos? They were so real. I mean, the animation was so good.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. The flames were like almost as real as the
But it's the same thing, man. It's all.
Well, the thing was, is we two years ago, we saw that Starlink was coming out, so we signed up, and I think it's like what $500 for the unit.
It's 500. Well, it was $500. Now it's 900 because Well, look, Elon was losing a lot of money
Yeah.
because he was making these things for 1,000, and he was trying to save the world by selling them for 500.
Oh, good God.
Well, if
So-
you have a Tesla solar roof, right, what they'll do is they'll take out one of the PV panels and they'll put in this really cool Starlink panel, so then it won't even look like you have an antenna on your roof.
Yeah, well, that's retarded because people say they signed up for Starlink because when you sign up for Starlink, you go out into your yard
Yeah.
with your phone and you click
Yeah.
the coordinate button and it says you're good. They got it, and if you move it 1 inch from the exact spot where you clicked
Yep.
it, it's like 5-year wait time.
So we've been waiting for 2 years, and you have to pay $100 a
So
month,
yep.
and
so,
it's
yeah.
now it's $1,000
So we
unit,
waited for it for like a year.
Year and a half.
Well,
$100 a month?
$100 a month.
so
Yeah.
Do you know the
And-
waiting list?
No, $100 a month once you
for
get
the
it.
internet.
For the internet. So we finally got switched over to T-Mobile. We've been loving T-Mobile. We pay $50 a month for it, and it's outstanding.
And
It's
the
only
unit
getting
is
better.
free.
And the unit's free. Wrangler Star, got his Starlink.
We affectionately call him Wrangle
We
Dangle.
call him Wrangle Dangle. We watch the
Because
guy all the
we're,
time.
we're
Super
Wrangle
fans.
stars.
Oh man, we've been watching him for years.
Forever.
Yeah, 6 years or so, ever since we got on YouTube. So he got his Starlink,
The
and
first one.
The
That's what
first
made
one.
us
Are
sign
you
up.
Yeah.
jealous?
no,
Yes,
no.
we are incredibly jealous of Wrangle.
So he goes and plugs it in and everything to his solar power units and everything like that. He's like, oh, this is so. Look how high my internet speed is. It was like download speed was like at whatever. It was at 80. Big deal. Ours is always like that. But then his upload speed was only 6. I'm like, we get like 26, 28 around here, and he's like freaking out. He's paying like over $100 a month.
Right.
Yeah, including the unit. So I was like, we're canceling
Yeah,
ours
that's the
before we get it.
thing. Oh yeah, and what was cool is when we got T-Mobile, we said, well, we'll just cancel Starlink. Well, it just so happens that their website's always down.
Oh,
Always down.
Yeah.
There's not even anything to their website, and it's been down for like 2
Man,
years.
I could tell you stuff.
Comes on for like a month.
I'm not gonna talk about it on here, but I can tell you stuff about the solar stuff, and it's like multi-level Amway. I'm just saying, it's some shenanigans. But Carlos, the shirt is, people are supposed to guess what the shirt is.
Is that a
So that's-
barcode?
that's a
Come on.
challenge. It's
If,
not a
if they
barcode.
wait till the end of the live stream.
And Andrew Connor is telling us to be careful when joining the conspiracy echo chambers of the internet, because that's where we get all of our information, which, by the way, that's where you get all your information too. And and if 2020 taught us anything, it taught us that 98% of all conspiracy theories are now somehow fact. It's
True.
very interesting. That's true. So I remember in 2008 when they were calling James Corbett a conspiracy theorist when he said that they were designing, bugs, super bugs to like control people. And,
Yeah.
Now we live in a perpetual conspiracy theory. So that's my take on conspiracy theories. And the word conspiracy theory itself was literally drummed up as a propaganda word by the CIA and inserted into the dictionary. So then there's that conspiracy theory that's also a fact.
He said the image is so grainy. He can't tell.
Oh man, you're just hating on our. We're using the other camera and we're uploading at 12. It should be super rainbow, but I guess it's not.
Country internet.
I love
Country
it.
internet.
Sometimes it doesn't even depend on the internet. It just sometimes I think just
But just
YouTube
the
live
hint,
system.
Just to hint what it is, it's related to the subject that we're talking about.
It's related to the subject.
Yeah.
And if you were a super
Nerd.
solar nerd, you would know exactly what it is because some super solar nerds saw this and they immediately knew what it
They
was.
were like freaking out.
At the end of the live stream, you'll tell.
Yeah, we'll tell them at the end.
Yeah, we'll tell you at the end. If
I
you
mean-
stay till the end.
Solar panels are great. Like the solar gate opener. Like it's so awesome just to have the little panel up there. Charges the battery, keeps it going. You don't have to have.
And why is that? Because it opens the gate and it closes the gate. It's
That's
a
it.
very minimal
It's
amount of
like
power,
nothing.
Yeah.
and it's not
And
constantly
it's
opening and closing the
charging
gate.
all
Well,
day.
you're gonna run your whole shop on solar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
eventually.
You know, and another thing that we're not technology haters. We
No,
have
of course not.
a battery-powered lawnmower,
Yeah.
and it's amazing. Like
It works good.
And the
but,
reason it
yeah.
works good is because we plug in the battery and charge it.
right,
you know,
you plug
there-
it in, you charge it, you zip around, and it's good. No, I think you should stay inside. Okay, go ahead, go outside, go play. You can't keep them inside.
You
No.
can't keep them in, y'all. They're like Wild West.
They are the outside kids. So, now there are limitations with the battery power.
That's the problem.
lawnmower. And we have several. Well, how many batteries do we have?
Two.
So we can always be rotating them.
2 batteries last me about like an hour and a half
But
of mowing.
We're still
But
happy
if you
with it.
mow,
Yeah.
The batteries are only renewable if you can plug them into
Yeah.
a legit power source
Exactly.
and charge.
Charge.
That's the only thing that makes them renewable. If you sit the battery on a table, it doesn't recharge itself autonomously. Unfortunately, it doesn't, and the technology isn't there yet. Okay. And if the technology was there, we wouldn't be allowed to use it. Okay. And I think there is some
It is out
super
there.
legit technology, but we're not allowed to use it.
Hovercraft status. But yeah.
All right. Anybody else got any guesses on the shirt? Any other topics? Anything you want to discuss? Because it's 8 o'clock and
And we are sick. And
Yeah.
we're gonna go rest.
But I mean, like that's the thing too. Is like we use all of our power tools, and I would not want them to be corded.
no.
You know, or
of
gas
course,
powered.
yeah. No, it's great. I mean,
Drill
battery
or something.
power is great, and I'm thankful that we can plug
Yeah.
into the wall. and
So
charge it.
like we're not like anti-battery. You
No.
know, a lot of our
No, and we're not anti-tech or anything.
No, no.
It's just practical scalability, and
Yeah.
you just, who killed the electric car? And you go watch that documentary. The problem is that they try to act like the petrol dollar killed that car. No, it didn't. And how are you going to charge it? And how's all that going to work? You know what I mean? That's and I understand that lobbyists are involved in everything. But lobbyists are involved in all this green agenda and this Green New Deal. And all this stuff is going to happen against our will.
Yeah.
Okay? It's all going to happen against our will. And you're some Luddite if you don't believe in fossil fuels and you don't believe in renewable energy and you don't believe in climate change. But the problem with all of these things is once you read all this supposed stuff and then you live a decade and you look back at history and you're like, hey, wait a minute. Actually, none of that stuff happened, which means that it was a lie. All right? None of that stuff happened. So if they were saying this is going to happen and we look back and none of that stuff happens, and you're like, wait a minute, they're a bunch of liars. Oh, but it just so happened that all those people that said it was going to happen, they all became billionaires, and they all fly around on private jets and spew out carbon and all this stuff, and they live on yachts with private cooks and a private security detail, and they have all that stuff that none of us are supposed to have, right? But they're championing, they're going to help the third world, they're going to cure hunger by creating, bugs and all that stuff.
So Mary asked, what OPES do you use? I'm looking at the 1800 watt. We have the 1200 watt. It's been working very good. The one thing that I would say, if you are considering something like this,
We're trying to get an 1800.
we're gonna try to get 1800, but with the price of everything going up, I would highly, highly, highly consider looking into the EcoFlows if you want to run bigger stuff,
Big stuff.
like table saws, chop
Plus, the
saws.
1800 watt OPES is pretty powerful.
It is
and
pretty powerful.
Don't we have a discount code for OPES?
We do have a
We
discount.
do.
code.
On if you go onto our
The
shop
lighting video.
lighting video and maybe a couple of our battle box videos, the OPES will
There's
be
a
there.
discount code.
There should be a discount code there too. But yeah, we've been absolutely loving our OPES. We have it. It's kind of cool. We have the battery inside the shop, 2 solar panels. It's kind of redneck, but we just lay them out on the ground, and they both tether in, and then we just keep recharging, and but it all depends on what you're going to use it for.
So you were saying for her to kind of compare it to the
100% would compare it to the EcoFlow because the EcoFlow is really nice for.
And EcoFlow sells
You're doing-
littler ones
Yes,
too. That's
exactly. So
just as
I'm not
cheap.
hating on Opez. It's really, really good if you're just running like kind of smaller stuff, charging your drill batteries and stuff like that. You need to plug in your phone,
And it's a good
Lighting.
price point. It's a good price
and it's a
point.
really good price point
Yeah.
too. You know, it's a cheaper option too. But if you're going to be running very stuff that needs a lot of power, and the other drawback, one of the little drawbacks to Opez with just the 1200 watt one is that how many watts of solar? 200 watts of solar can come in.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it too.
So it caps it off. You can't put more than 2 solar
Yeah, where
panels.
like a big EcoFlow, you can bring in like 1600.
1600 watts.
Like you
Okay.
can.
So you can
Well,
plug
That
it
could be
in.
400 watt.
Yeah,
and the thing
gigantic.
is, with the Opez,
that's-
we have 200 watt panels,
But
we're
only
getting
like 100 watts.
They're not that
Yeah.
efficient. Yeah.
No, they're not efficient
And-
at all.
They're a little thin.
They're a little
You're
thin,
talking
yeah.
about solar panels on the roof. I don't know what they're talking about with Tesla. These things, if they just from the pollen and dust getting on them, if I wipe them off, it'll get like 20 amps more. But literally, like how you gonna keep it clean on your roof? Go up there and sweep them off. Like
Yeah.
just a little bit of dust interferes with.
I
its
do like the
efficiency.
Opez for like camping trips. If you're going
The
on like a little
foldable solar panels.
Oh yeah, a
are
little
awesome.
camping trip
Yeah.
or whatever, 1 or 2 days, that's awesome just to keep stuff. Like everything that we've been doing back there wouldn't have been possible and we would have spent a lot of time running around and stuff because when we're back there we can charge our batteries, we don't have to drive all the way back up here,
Okay.
plug them in.
Let me find the
Stuff
Opez.
like that.
I'll drop the Opez links and the discount code for y'all.
So yeah.
Let's see here.
yeah, but yeah, we've really been liking the Opez. That's been something that I really like.
I'm never on the side.
So is there any, while Daddy's finding that, is there any updates on the website or any announcements that you want to make on the website?
I forget if I told anybody, but I'm trying to remember. I think I did. I made the Food 401k t-shirt and I put that on the website.
Oh yeah, Acres
Yeah.
wanted to know.
Yeah. I put that on there. So it's just plain text, says Food 401k and it's super cool. So I did that and then we added 1 or 2 recipes this week to the
Yeah.
native site. Wanted to say a big thank you to all of the natives out there.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for that. But yeah, just
You said you were getting ready to run a sale, I think.
yeah, we've been.
Is that
I
something?
kind of got sick. I was going to kind of do that today, but then I got sick, and I just needed to go ahead and it's not as easy as just putting stuff for sale. I need to go check how much inventory I have, so that I don't have all these people buy all this stuff for kind of like a great deal, and then I'm like, sorry guys, I don't got it. So I got it. Go through it.
So
It
we
takes a
might
little
be
bit.
running a summer sale.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
So, but with that Opez 1800, it can run 4 panels.
400.
Yeah,
Yes,
so it's
yeah.
way bigger. So,
Yeah, you can get your own panels and set up an array.
yeah, super cool.
All right, Curly Q. So yeah, if nobody has any other questions,
Tell them about your
All right,
shirt.
so the shirt is a Tesla roof.
it's a Tesla solar shirt.
Shingle.
And this is a PV panel. So on the Tesla solar roof, your panels are your shingle is actually the glass PV panel on your solar exposed slopes, and then it's a glass panel on the rest of it.
It looks really nice.
Yeah, it is.
It looks slick.
Yeah, it's a beautiful roof. It's definitely an incredibly premium product, and yeah, and there's a lot of neat, interesting inside baseball stuff and all that.
I mean, if
Texas.
you were a person that was gonna go out and buy like some crazy, fancy, expensive clay tile roof, then I would definitely.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you're going out to spend that much
Yeah,
money,
it's
I don't
silly
know why
not
you
to-
wouldn't.
Yeah, put a big beautiful.
Yeah, we had a customer that wanted a Ludowici tile, and the Tesla solar roof was cheaper than the clay tile roof. So
I have 2 EcoFlows.
Delta and a 2 160 watt
Sweet.
solar panel. A large side-by-side refrigerator, and it can run it for 11
I know.
hours.
Yeah.
That's what I'm.
On
Wow.
Me and James were watching this guy on the EcoFlows, and he had it on a rolling rack, which was so cool.
I mean, it's just
And
like one storage.
It was a 26 kW. You could push it around. It was 6 of the EcoFlows because they're like a chain, and you can hook them all together, and they act like one big battery unit.
EcoFlow tech.
And it's outstanding. And it can run with that type of unit. It can easily run your house. So
And I mean, I would really be interested. I've been looking. EcoFlow sells their refurbished batteries where they get them back and they refurbish the cells and then resell them for like half the price.
Yeah.
They're all out of stock. If they weren't, I'd probably get a couple for the shop and be fully solar with it. But I'm waiting for them to come back in stock because they are a little bit pricey. The jumper batteries are
$1,000 cheaper.
$1,000 cheaper, but you can't put solar into them.
No.
So if you had one main generator, you could put 1,600 watts of solar in that one. The other one's just an extension, so you can't put solar into that one. So normally how they do it is they have 2 main generators and then 2 extra, and that would run.
Oh, a lot.
That would easily run like probably this. That would run this whole house, everything except the HVAC system.
Yeah. And that's like what the guy was saying too, that had the 6 of them, 6 EcoFlows, and it was a 26 kW. The whole setup pretty much, give or take a couple little things, it only cost him 20 grand. Unlike a Tesla roof, which is like $50,000-$60,000, and it could be more the bigger it is.
Wellbot says refurbished EcoFlows for $950.
Whoa, yeah, but I mean, yeah, that's a really good deal depending on which EcoFlow.
Yeah,
is.
what
So,
type you're talking
yeah,
about.
I'm talking about the EcoFlow Delta Pro Max because we gotta go like iPhone status. But yeah, those are the biggest units that they have. The 240 volt, dryer outlet status, and those ones usually go for about 3,600 each.
Refurb?
Not
No,
refurb.
no.
Refurb, you can get them for about 2,600.
Oh,
Texas
really?
Farmer says she's loving your tea.
Awesome.
Cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, we have, for any sick folk, we got that decongest tea on there and a couple other, like, kind of like sick teas that'll
Yeah,
help you get
so
over
love
your
our
plague.
tea, love our
So,
honey,
I've been using
love our coffee.
the detox, and it tastes really good.
It tastes really good.
It tastes
and it works.
really Yeah, and then you take some Texas Boys honey, and that's really good too. You put that in your tea.
Oh, and Rich Akers is on.
Oh, really?
noticed that, yeah. How's Spence and the gang? How's the new baby? All right, Andrew. We'll see y'all. I guess we're gonna sign off. If
Yeah, I
nobody,
think we are.
if nobody's got anything, we're gonna go
Go
recuperate.
to sleep.
Oh.
I want us to watch. I
I
want us to watch the Richard Grove interview with John Taylor Gatto. What is that? The world's greatest history lesson.
That was very good.
Yeah, that's a 5-hour deal.
It's
But
very
I want to watch
Let's
that.
do it.
Richard
Yes.
Grove is awesome, and tragedyandhope.com. And before, what's really awesome about Richard Grove is he reached out to John Taylor Gatto, and this was in 2000. Well, 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 years ago. Now, I get my years mixed up, but. He reached out to John Taylor Gatto and he said, we need to document this. And so he did a very, very high quality documentary and interviewed John Taylor Gatto. And it is excellent, and it's 5 hours, and it's very good.
I really enjoy John Taylor Gatto, and
Man, just listening to him talk, and it's just a wealth of knowledge.
and you really have to be ready and have your brain turned on because he's highly intelligent, and he did suffer a couple strokes, I believe.
Mhm.
So it's you really have to be ready to pay attention. But I'm telling you, it is totally worth it because you're going to be hanging on every word that comes out of his mouth because he's just full of so.
And he talks about a lot of revisionist history. I mean, the predominance of that interview is just about a lot of revisionist history.
Yes,
so.
and any book by John Taylor Gatto, I would highly recommend it, especially if you're homeschooling or you know somebody who's homeschooling or you might be homeschooling or you haven't even considered homeschooling. Read that book and you probably will be considering homeschooling
Yeah, for
in a whole different way than you thought ever
Right.
about education. So it's really cool. And I just want to plug again that Washington documentary. It does have some stuff.
Propaganda.
in it, but if you can get past the couple little things,
Yeah.
generally 99% of it, I would say
Yeah,
98%
Yeah,
is
it was
very
it was good.
well
They
done.
had some hoaxy slavery stuff in there that wasn't exactly true.
Right.
But then at
Parts
the
of it,
end,
but at the end
it
they
was kind of funny.
they reconciled it, but they never tied the reconciliation.
No.
You know, after Washington died, you know, he freed his slave. Well, his one head slave wanted to stay. Did not want to be
Yeah,
emancipated.
he did
And
say.
what they don't tie to when they're accusing him of being a slave holder and all this stuff is that the reason that they did all that maneuvering with their slaves is because their slaves did want to stay.
Yeah.
And their slaves didn't want to be emancipated. And they, you know, and just like the whole reference to Providence, but they never talk about John Gano, who baptized George Washington, right? You had George Washington, who became a Christian. He renounced Freemasonry, and he was baptized as a Christian, not as a Baptist. He wasn't. It wasn't like a Anglican thing or anything.
And
or
then
church
there
of
was
England.
the when he was giving his inauguration speech, he said,
Oh, I will say this: Bill Clinton's in it, which makes it terrible, and Colin Powell's in it, which makes
okay,
it terrible.
but
But other
you
than
don't
that,
talk him out of the documentary. The
they're
documentary
pretty
is
solid.
really,
Still
really
telling,
But
good.
but it's steeped in irony. When
It's
you hear
very-
when you hear Bill talking about integrity, when you hear Bill talking about integrity, that's pretty. That's just oozes with irony. I mean the irony.
I know,
And then
I know.
Colin Powell and
I
Desert
know.
Storm. I mean, I'm
I
like,
know.
all right,
I know.
all right,
Yeah,
take it easy.
I know. But it's for Amazon Prime. I mean, you're watching
yeah.
this on Amazon
Yeah,
Prime.
yeah.
Your
Yeah.
expectation level is like way down
At
here.
the floor.
And,
it's super exceeds expectations.
Oh,
yes,
like, by a manifold
it's
of like.
very
Yeah, I
well
learned a
done.
lot. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
very well
it
done.
was pretty good.
Very well filmed.
Yeah, he did not die a Freemason though. But a lot of the Illuminati, you know, they like to keep him in that package, but yeah, that's not true. So, all right, y'all. Well, it's been awesome hanging out as always, and it's always nice to talk and share and whatnot, and regardless of the consequences.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna get put in jail for 20,
I know.
28
That's
days.
okay.
That's fine.
All right, y'all. Hope you have a great night. Texas Farmer, Lisa Clark, Carlos Cejas, Amy Pennington. Are you ready for Jesus? What's the name of it? The name of it? Get this. Write this down. Washington. Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. But it's a 4-part deal. I think they're like an hour, 20 minutes
Yeah.
apiece. But and I think it was. It might have been originally from the History Channel, so it might be
Yeah.
in the History Vault.
Yeah, on
Section.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, on
It was made by the same series as The Men Who Built America
Yeah.
series.
Is it?
It's made by the same
Yeah.
film.
Which the Men Who Built America documentary is garbage. But
Yeah, that one was super garbage. The Frontiersman one was pretty good.
that one was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Frontiersman.
Pennsylvania Mom. So the Pennsylvania people are going to be traveling the states. So
Yes,
Okay.
I saw that. I
yeah.
saw
So if you're ever in Texas,
that. Yes.
hit us up. All right, Pennsylvania people.
Hey, don't forget to check out Oklahoma. It's pretty gorgeous.
Yeah, we feel
Pretty
your
nice.
Pennsylvania pain.
Yes. we think you're very smart.
Yes. Yes.
And I think you said,
Run away.
you said, I know it's not a good time or whatever, you know.
It's never a
hey,
good time.
it's a perfect time. It's always a perfect time to relocate.
It's always,
Yes.
it's always the perfect time to flee.
It's always a perfect time to relocate. So, yeah, you know our favorite states. You've probably heard them a
Nah,
million times
a million
over, but
times.
yeah.
All right, y'all. We'll see you on the next. Did I miss anything? Curly
No,
Q
I don't
Stooge.
Potato Head.
Mr. Solus, I know you're on here. I know you're in the. You're watching your monitors, doing your security gig, and I know you're here. Thanks for always hanging out, buddy. One of the OGs.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. See you on the next video.
Yep, yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to stop it. Okay.
Up, here we go. I need to take the phone out of here.